Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. My name is Pasa and today I'm unboxing and doing a first impression review of the Crown CT11001 router, which is the most powerful router in the collection with 2100 watts of input power. Let's start with the information on the box itself. On the front, we have a picture and the word router in 20 different languages. So if you wanted to learn how to say router, Latvian or Turkish, now's your chance. On the bottom, it says professional, but we should always be cautious with the statements, especially with tools on the lower end of the price scale. I've got this router as a replacement for my old Inco 1600 watts, which looks very similar to Makita 3600 series of routers. The Inco broke its bottom bearing and I couldn't fix it, so I've started to look at mid-budget routers that will suit my needs. Two use case scenarios are going to be an occasional slab flattening, and more permanent use will be inside a router table. Before I decided for this option, I was also looking at Bosch GMF 1600 CE and the Triton MOF 001 and the Triton TRA 001. And although any of these three options would have been way better choice, unfortunately neither of them are available down south where I live, in the ghetto of Europe. On the left side of the box we have a list of its features. So it has variable speed, soft start, constant speed control, and on the other side we have info about the collet and the bushing sizes. It comes with 12mm collet and 8 and 6mm bushings, but it will also accept the imperial sizes of half inch, quarter inch, and 5/16. Let's see what do we get as standard accessories for this router out of the box. First we're just gonna do the unboxing and later on we're going to have a closer look. But let me just breathe in that beautiful smell of recycled plastic first. That's great first impression, don't you think so? So here on top we have the warranty probably together with the user manual, the extension rods for the parallel guide system, a wrench, two bushings. Let's remove the cover, the cardboard cover. Let's change our position so we can see things more clearly. Next we have the parallel guide. It's in a plastic bag. And the router itself. We have two accessories on the router. That's the dust nozzle and the plastic cover, dust cover, plastic dust cover. The last thing in the box is the guide bush. I'm gonna set the router aside for a bit so we can take a closer look at the accessories. So let's start with the user manual, wrapped in plastic. This is a pamphlet with their selection of tools. They have a quite a good range of tools. This is warranty probably, yeah. A service card and warranty. And the user manual, also on 20 different languages, which is nice. There is quite a few pictures, but no color on the user manual. Let's check the extension rods first. They're pretty heavy, not hollow.
They seem like good quality. Their diameter is 8 millimeters and they are 30 millimeters, 30 centimeters in length. The parallel guide is made of metal, pressed steel, and plastic. The plastic looks like it's heavy duty, not bad, not flimsy at all. And it comes with micro adjuster. The micro adjust moves the fence 1 millimeter with total travel of 35 millimeters. One more thing I can notice that this parallel guide accepts auxiliary fence over here. They have left holes that are actually treated holes, so you can make your own auxiliary fence, but it doesn't come with one. I took out the collet from the router. This is a 12 millimeter collet. Yeah, 12 millimeter collet, and we have two bushings which are 6 and 8 millimeters. I like this wrench. It's quite solid. It's pressed steel. It's 4 millimeters thick and 26 for the collet. A little loose, but it's gonna do its job. So this is 25 millimeters. And the last thing, we have the guide bush. The same pressed stem steel. The out diameter is 18. Should be 18 probably, but my digital caliber shows 17.5556. And in total it's, let's see, 84. So I'm gonna remove the accessories and we're gonna take a look at the router itself. And just put them on the side on my workbench. Let's take a look at the accessories that are on the router itself mounted. This is the dust nozzle, 26 millimeters. I've tried the Festool hose and it can fit like inside, but it's not a good fit, so maybe I'm gonna need to do some sanding of this so it fits a little bit better. And over here we have the plastic adapter for the dust collection. I don't know how that's gonna work out, but we're gonna test it and see. So the router itself doesn't feel very nice. It's all plastic. The colors are not what they should be. This is like concrete gray and black is not very dark. So I don't like the look of it. But let's start checking out its features and see if we're gonna like them. The edges of the plastic are quite sharp. On top we have micro adjustment for the router, and this goes all the way down for the full depth for the launch of the router, so you can turn this all the way and the travel of this router is 60 millimeters. I wouldn't say that I like this button. It feels quite rough and plasticky, like you cannot grip it nicely. On this side in the front and also at the back we have quick access for the brushes. It's a brush motor, not brushless. I like this option to change the brushes from the outside, but let's just note that there's no additional brushes included. Here we have the speed adjustment. This has from 8,000 to 2300 RPMs. And next is the depth stop, which moves quite nicely. This is the button for the router change. Some knobs for the extension rods. Let's put this on top. So this is a little bit concave, and this cable is on the way, so the router doesn't sit very nicely on top. See, it wobbles. For bit change, probably you're gonna have to do this. But that's okay. We have 3 holes with 3 screws for the dust adapter and 4 screws for the base plate. Let's remove the dust adapter so we can have a closer look. Oh, this is very stiff. If you can notice, there is a little bit of a gap over here. I don't know if that's intentional or if it's gonna improve or not the dust collection. If the top of this router was flat, that would be the better option, but unfortunately it isn't. So this is the dust adapter. The largest bit that you can put here is going to be 31 millimeters. And this the gap is here. You probably use the same screws for the guide bush. The holes are okay aligned, but do you see a problem over here? Yeah, there is like, I think that you should actually use the dust adapter, and on top you move this. Yeah, like this is a little bit better. Yeah, this is the intended use actually, with the screws on. I'm gonna remove both, and we're gonna see the milling under the base plate. Oh, this is quite sharp. You can actually do some damage over here. Quite sharp edges on the milling. It's not full. see that's markings for probably some kind of a quality management. And this is $6mm stick. As you can see, there is no knob for fine adjustment on from the top of the table. Let's put this back together. Let's take a look at the back of the router. The handles, they don't have any soft rubber on them. They're fully plastic and I don't like the feel. They're just like pretending to be ergonomic. On the right handle we have the switch of the router and we have a lock. So we can lock it. And that's a nice feature for under table use. And on the other side we have a lever. This lever doesn't lock the router, actually unlocks it. So now it's in the lock position and you cannot plunge it down. So in order to move this down, you have to unlock it and then it moves and stops. So plunge. But what we can actually notice, even with this lock, so the lock is here, but here we have some play. The base is flat, but there is some movement. There's no bearings, obviously. What I like are these two screws here. They can be very important. Let me show you my old router. So this is my old Inco, and what I did here is a lift mechanism. The cable length is only 190 centimeters. Let's plug this in and check the soft start. Unfortunately, I've noticed considerable amount of play in the parallel guide mechanism. When the parallel fence is on the router, it only works properly in its most extended position. But when we try to use the micro adjustment knob, it starts to wobble due to its poor design and manufacturing, making the parallel guide practically useless. So in the next few months, I'm gonna try out the capabilities of this tool and probably going to create one more video to update you on its performance in more detailed manner. But for now, I truly believe that this tool can help the average hobby woodworker to adapt and improve his skills, especially considering that the cost of this tool is just around 150 euros.